most Americans aren't ready for retirement, and here's how to prepare according to a researcher. So this came from Barron's, and the expert worked for an asset management firm, and they really just talked through retirement trends with him and what are the ways that Americans can prepare better for retirement. And there was a few great takeaways. One of them was markets go up and down, and you should expect that. So if you're going into retirement, if you're not quite at retirement, you should expect that the markets will go up and down and be prepared for that.
Let's take a quick time out there because I'm glad you brought this up, because before we started recording today, I told you I wanted to talk about that and I completely forgot. So thank you. So you're right, Cory. In August and September, the markets pulled back, generally speaking. And I've had a couple of clients already ping me, Cory, saying, hey, I'm worried, I'm nervous. And I get it. Especially if you're retired, you hate to open up your statement, Cory, and see your account go down. But and I'll use your word, what befuddles me is that these clients don't call me or email me when the account is going up. And so what I try to do, Cory, is to remind clients just what that point said here, that markets go up and down. Now, I get it. It's human nature. You never want to see your net worth diminish. However, if you're going to be invested in anything, I don't care what it is, if you're going to be invested, you can expect that investment price to change. And it doesn't mean it just goes up. And anyone that tells you something just goes up is probably lying to you or selling you something shady. So again, it's okay in retirement for your account to go down 2 months. I had to remind these clients that if you zoom out and you look at your investing time horizon, you have made way more money than you've lost. And so perspective is very important. I get it. People get nervous. This is a retirement. I don't like seeing anybody's account down, but I also know that that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again and again and again. And the goal of investing is that we invest in companies that ideally will go up more than they go down, and that you're diversified and protected as much as you can be. But there's always going to be risk, right? Just like there's risk if you leave cash in a shoebox at your house, there's still risk there. So, all right, Cory, I had to go off on that because I think it's important, and I'm not faulting these clients at all. Don't get me wrong. It baffles me that clients forget that, and that's just human nature. And I guess that's part of my job security, is to remind people of that. But you have to understand it's going to go up and down. Go ahead, Cory, with your topic.
Yeah, that was one of the big points. I just thought that was interesting because they talked about Americans not being ready for retirement. And the first point this researcher made was that markets go up and down, and you should expect that. Secondly, he highlighted understand what you own, including bonds. And I think this was a great point because he really highlighted that stocks are stories, right? It's about a company that did something, it made something, it was successful. People understand that. But the bond market is driven by math. And for most people, math can be much more difficult. It's just not as natural or intuitive. So understanding what you own and understanding what it's intended to do. But the last point that I wanted to make here, Jake, was how the author highlighted how different this looks generationally. And the big point there is that there's some interesting trends that baby boomers are overconfident and underfunded. And the median retirement need is a much larger number than what people expect. The savings is not aligned with what that need looks like. But ultimately, that a lot of people aren't secure in their retirement. They don't feel secure planning for their retirement, but they don't adjust or modify their behavior as a result of that.
Of course not. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. And so that's good. I think discipline is a big part of retirement, and understanding that, if you want to spend a lot, you've got to have a lot. And that's what we've talked about on this show so many times, which is great. And I never get tired of talking about this, Cory, is lining up your money with your purpose or your values, and be very cheap and tight on things that you don't value, and spend more than the average on things that you do value. And I think if you can do that with a proper financial plan and tax planning and investment management, then you can set yourself up. But you can't have it all. Nobody can.